Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. My name's Joe. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the game Strategic Mind, Spirit of Liberty. This takes the series to the Finnish front during the Second World War and covers all three campaigns that the Finns were involved in, from the Winter War against the Soviets in 1939-40 to their participation as allies of the Germans during Barbarossa, and then finishing up with the Lapland campaign after they had been basically knocked out of the war and forced to switch sides. So we will get this underway here in a moment. This is the fifth game in the series, following up the four that you can actually see over here, which are currently, I guess, on sale, and you can purchase them from Steam. So I'm going to go new game. There are two possible campaigns you can play. As you can see, this one is the historical, which covers the 1939 to 45 period. It starts with the beginning of the Winter War with the Soviet invasion of Finland, and then you can play through that entirety. This game has cutscenes and voice acting, and that has been a point that has gotten some some ridicule and some negative responses from people in the community. I actually have not played the earlier game, so I'm not sure about the quality of the voiceover stuff in here. This one seems to be okay, I guess. It's hard sometimes for native English speakers to understand that maybe you can't always get somebody who's a native English speaker to do your voiceover. I think the voiceover in general is pretty good, though. That's just my opinion, and this is certainly a your mileage may vary kind of thing. So you do have two campaigns, as I mentioned, the historical one and this alternative history, which is basically Mannerheim gets assassinated. Finland kind of goes on the offensive instead of being mostly on the defensive. They try to help the Germans take Leningrad. They try to capture Murmansk. They go after Moscow, potentially. So that's an interesting one, but let's start with the historical one. So you're going to play basically as this guy right here, who is General Carl Gustaf, and he's basically a defensive-minded general. So you will be given missions to accomplish during the game, and it is a hex-based game. There is a lot. It's a tactical game. There is a lot of wargaming goodness, I guess I would say. Traditional kind of things in here. Although there's also some things that are more kind of borrowing things from, say, the real-time strategy type of things, where you can upgrade your units, you can purchase units using prestige points as currency, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of a combination thing, and it's graphically, it doesn't have counters or things like that. It's very pseudo 3D with you'll see the tanks, you'll see the planes, you'll see the soldiers. It's you'll see here in a moment, but it's very the presentation is very nice, I guess I would say. I'm more old school, traditional. I don't mind looking at a hex map with what look like counters in a computer game. It's for those of us who played tabletop war games going back 30, 40 years, you get used to that stuff. So it's a little different, but it's not unenjoyable at all. So we'll take you have difficulty levels here, obviously. 4 built in, and then you can customize it, and you can do basically tweak enemy strength, prestige for victory, unit reinforcement cost. Obviously that's pretty cheap, 20%, 80% enemy strength, 150% prestige for victory. Storytelling is basically really simple, and it's really, you're not really doing all that much. So let's just play reasonable. Just because, I personally actually don't have a ton of experience with Strategic Mind. I have played through the tutorial, so I understand the basics of the game. But I'm still kind of a newbie to this, so in a way, it's I'm of two minds of this. On the one hand, it would be better if I was an experienced guy to kind of guide you through how the game works, et cetera, et cetera. On the other hand, it's kind of cool that I'm actually new myself, for those of you who may be new to the game as well, because you can see my experience, watch me make blunders and so on and so forth, and maybe learn from them. And I'm sure people who are familiar with the game will probably post, comments explaining what I screwed up. At least I won't mess up any rules. That's the benefit of a PC game versus a tabletop game. In tabletop games, sometimes I screw up the rules. Can't really screw up the rules in a computer game because the program enforces them. So we start with a cutscene of Soviet armor approaching the Finnish border in late November of 39. This would be the start of the Winter War, obviously. We have some Soviet small tanks, maybe T-70s, approaching the border, crossing the border, starting the war. This will be followed by some discussion between generals. You'll see Mannerheim, you'll see Osh, and I believe someone else as well. See, here's Mannerheim.
True colors. Their troops have crossed our border in force. Gentlemen, the war that began in Poland has finally come to us.
The Soviets claim our troops shelled their positions near the village of Mainila.
An absurd accusation, and they know it. Our artillery was pulled back precisely to prevent an incident like that.
Exactly. They simply needed an excuse to invade us. Now, they've created one.
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who fired the first shot. Now we have to defend ourselves.
It does matter to the League of Nations. Our government wants to appeal to the League for assistance.
That's nice, but the League can't help Finland if there is no more Finland to help.
Just so. We must hold the line, General Osh, and you are the best defensive tactician we have.
You'll have your hands full, General. The Soviets plan to overwhelm us with sheer numbers.
A few more months to prepare would have helped. Our main defensive line is still unfinished.
Then we'll have to rely on your skill and the sisu of our soldiers. I am placing my trust in you, General.
I won't let you down. But that appeal to the League, I suggest you tell our government to hurry.
And so there you have the cutscene. You can make your own call on how well done you thought that was, I guess. Now we get our orders. Basically, we're told that we have to beat back the Soviet troops. We also need to conduct an aviation recon of Petriki. So here on the map, you can see various areas. So this, all the red is Soviet, and the green and the blue would be our forces, essentially. So here you can see we have a 37 millimeter gun. We have some artillery. Basically, we have regular stuff here. I'm looking for like an airfield. They want us to do an aerial reconnaissance, but if we don't have an airfield, that would be difficult to do. And I don't really see one. This is our main area right here. And I don't see an airbase, so I'm not really sure. Let's see, no aircraft. Because you can purchase aircraft. You know, it wants us to do this aviation of reconnaissance of this area right here. But if I don't have an aircraft, right, you can say, well, you can purchase items with prestige, right? So if we go in here and we say, okay, we want to buy aircraft, 640, I have 250. Fighter, 475, I have 250. So, you know, that makes it a little difficult to pull that off, you know. I don't know how you're supposed to do this, without having any aircraft. And you can see supply hubs. Supply does matter in this, so you have supply hubs and you can see the flow of supplies across roads and railroads and things like that. There's also maritime ones where you have to have basically a port. You can do airdrops, you can do naval transport, so you can boat people across water, stick them on a ship, send them over, but they have to load and unload in a port basically. I'm guessing in the Pacific game, which I have not played, they probably have some mechanism for amphibious landings. They may also have that for, say, like, Torch or D-Day or, and Husky, any of the invasions that took place in Europe that were, involved landing craft and so on. In this one, that's probably not that much of a big deal, only because it wasn't really something that took place all that much in this particular war. So you have some question marks here. You can attack them, but your attack will be downgraded because you don't know what you're attacking. So you could see there's, up there in the upper left, and if I move off this, it'll go away. But up there in the upper left, you can see what you're expecting from return fire. There's a lot of question marks in there because you don't know what that is. You don't know what's in there. My guess is it's infantry. It's a forest hex. Terrain does matter here. So I'm not really sure how you're supposed to do this aircraft thing when we don't have an airplane. I don't see an aircraft anywhere. And I don't have enough prestige here to do anything. I guess you could sell some stuff maybe to get an aircraft. But the aircraft costs $475. I only have $250. So that's an HQ unit. You can see what equipment they have. It'll tell you what the equipment does. And up here you have information on it. So it's movement points, how much fuel, things like hard defense, soft attack, hard attack, gun range. So that's a number of hexes. How much ammunition it has, its spotting range, and then air defense. And then if you looked at like fighters or whatever, you would see, air attack and air defense as well. So, conduct aviation recon of Patrici with 0 turns left. I don't have... this drives me crazy because I have no idea how I'm supposed to accomplish this with no way to buy an aircraft. Like, am I supposed to sell units to do this or what? There's no, as far as I can tell, I don't see, that's a fort. I don't see any air assets. Okay, so you have core units and non-core units, just to kind of explain what that means. So here, these units up here, they're a different color, obviously. They're non-core units, and you can tell by the strength number here being in kind of a hex shape. It's a 6-sided shape, but it's not a hex like this hex. It's more kind of an oblong hex, whereas these are in circles. This is a core unit. Anything that's in a circle is a core unit. So here you can see we've got some stuff that's not core and some stuff that is core up here. And none of these are an aircraft. So I guess you could maybe sell something that would, I'm not sure how you would even do this. Like, here's how you would level up if you could. Like, okay, so we can't even upgrade those guys or remove or add equipment. Interesting. Okay, well, I know I'm not going to be able to accomplish that, and maybe somebody who's more familiar with this and I'm just missing something obvious can weigh in and tell me how I'm supposed to do that without having any aircraft. So we'll move up, see if we can spot something. So now we know what this is. It's a 1939 conscript on the Soviet side. And now we do have our artillery here, so we can take this guy and we can fire out at him. And so you see the -1/-2. So if you come in here now, you can see his damage is 2 of 8, and his strength is now 5 of 8. So we did some damage to him. And now his soft attack has been reduced by 1, and his hard attack has been reduced by 1 as well. So you do have terrain effects. And again, if we go back in here, you can see the +5. So you have 5 is the base value. Then you got 4 from take cover, -1 for being attacked already, and +2 for the forest. And if you click on it, you can see what this is. So defense from aircraft attacks, right? So if we go to here, which is our soft defense, you can get the same. You get the same thing basically, except there's no take cover. They're just basically, vulnerable to some extent. So you can see the range as well of what distance these guys can fire at. Now this is an anti-aircraft gun, basically. An anti-tank gun. So we're just going to, I think for now, leave this here. I don't know that we need to move that. And we do have our Vickers 6-ton here. So I could move them up like so. And you can attack with them, but you get some, as you can see again on the top right, you see there it says Vickers 6-ton right at the top on the very right top side. Vickers 6-ton +6 hard defense +2 sapper squad -7 close quarters. So you're going to have a lot of negative modifiers for a tank attacking infantry in a forest text for reasons that are probably pretty obvious if you think it through. So the game does take into account all the things that you would expect it to take into account for combat. Now we have infantry, and this is our regular infantry, so we can move these guys up and then have them attack because they have better. Now if we look at our modifiers again, you can see they have better they have a better chance of doing damage. So it looks like they should get 3 lethal damage on this, and that's what's indicated here. If you look at the cursor, it shows 2 damage to the Finns, 3 damage to the Soviets. So let's do the attack. So we lost 2, and they lost 2 as well, but they didn't take any. Well, they did take strength damage. So they took lethal damage, but only 2. And they didn't take any non-lethal damage. So now it gets a little bit more difficult because they have another unit here, which looks like to me like a recon unit. But we can, I guess we can't. He doesn't have a line of fire. I should have maybe moved him up here. Then he would have had a line of fire on that, but we don't have that there. So, this is our non-core. He can't really get close enough, so we'll leave them there. This is a fort, and so these skull and crossbones kind of indicate its field of fire. So anybody who enters this is going to be vulnerable to attack from the fort. The best way to reduce a fort is to attack it with flamethrower-equipped infantry. which I don't think we actually have, so we don't need to worry about that. Again, now we can see our supply hub, which is connected, wants to be connected to this unit, to this area here, but it can't be because it's occupied by the enemy. Now over here, we have a fort. And then we have some Soviet stuff here. We have an airfield. Now, if we had this airfield, it might make it a little easier on us. But over here, we don't have, well, we do have some artillery, but there's really nobody they can hit from their current spot. Then we have some infantry that I would probably just leave here. And we do have the 2 forts, one there and one here. And then we have another fort here. And we have our conscripts, who are a non-core unit. You can see by the color as well. They're yellow instead of green. So these are non-core units. So the conscripts are sitting there. We have scouts that are here. We have our regulars that are, I guess, up here. Now they can truck down here. The problem is if they go down here in a truck, and you can see the truck icon right here. If they come down here in a truck, they're vulnerable to attack from both this unit and, if we went all the way here, this unit as well, most likely. So it wouldn't really be that great of an idea to move them down there to where they would be in range of these guys. We could move them here, and they should not get attacked. And then if we go in here, you can see they have equipment truck. So they are basically, motorized. And now from here, they don't have the range. Because again, if we come in here, you can see the range is only 1. Maximum range of attack in hexes, right? So pretty straightforward. So I think that's all we can do. So we're going to get dinged for not doing this, but I don't know how you do that, to be honest. Like I said, if somebody has an idea of how you would actually pull that off, I'm all ears. All right. So we have a new objective to capture enemy tanks in this hex. Now the real problem is we have to take care of this area as well. So there aren't a lot of units here. Now we have our tanks here. They can attack this guy, but maybe we should hit him with the with this. Well, yeah, why not? Why not? We also have this infantry here that we can probably nail as well. And there's this guy here at 2. We're going to go here. So now if we look at them, their strength is down to a 2. Now we have these guys. We also have this guy. So if you can get the damage down to 0, that means that they're very prone to surrender. Didn't quite get there. All right, this is our conscript. So let's go up here and see if we can do anything up here. We have really nothing we can do. So I have 10 turns to capture the enemy tanks. So I'm going to end my turn. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so they have fleed. Or fled. Fleed. They have fled. Wow. Yeah, English is my first language, believe it or not. So let's see. Let's see if we can finally take these guys out. And they are gone. Now you can see the beat back Soviet troops went to 1. So you have to kill 3 units, I guess, is what we're trying to do here. Let's see if we can take these guys out. They surrendered. So that's 2. And they also were overrun. So we can move. Let's move this way. All right. Got one more unit we need to take out here to accomplish the first goal. See, that's a bad move. And I don't think... Yeah, we're not going to do that. And we're not going to do that either. Okay, I think that's all I can really do here. So we will end our turn. All right. Let's see if we can take these guys out. Nope. All right. Now we have to capture the airfield, which is here. And we need to take some tanks as well. So this is going to be interesting here. Capture the enemy tanks, which is all the way over there. Am I allowed to? I'm not allowed to move these guys, apparently. So... start moving our stuff forward here. And we'll move... what is this? Landsverk L182. Oh, looks like they gave us some extra stuff here. So that's good. We got some Jaegers. More regulars. Another gun. Well, they got their own artillery. And this is an anti-tank gun. And here we have infantry. There's the airfield. Okay. Yeah, let's go there. Railroad station. Our fort. Okay, that's there. This guy, let's send this guy this way. So every so often you get this animation, which you may or may not find to your liking, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of cool. Let's see what else. Where's our Vickers? He's here. The question is... see, in a town, that's not great. That is not great. We'll hold off on that for the moment. That might not have been the brightest move I've made here. Let's move him here. And then we have these guys up here. They already moved. These guys moved. My scouts. Okay. Conscripts. They can't do much for us, but we'll move them up anyway. All right. That will end that turn. Now we get capture the warehouse as well. All right. We captured the airfield with our scouts. And we got a plane now. And so it is a tactical bomber, so we can use this to bomb things. So let's bomb our gun here. And move it out of the way. Yeah, let's take our tanks out of there. That was a bad move that I don't need to make worse. Okay, down to 0 strength. Okay. Let's see now. What do we have here? We don't know. Let's find out. Oh, it's a fort. Warehouse is over there. Okay. Okay, so that beat them down a decent amount. Let's see what else we got. They already fired. They've already fired too, I believe. Okay, what else we got? Regulars. They already did something. They already did something. The scouts already did something. Conscripts. Let's bring them in. Vickers already moved. They moved. They moved. I think that's everybody. Fighter. We should go see what they've got over here. Ambushed. What is this? Anti-aircraft gun? Yep. Well, that was the mission, to find out what they've got. So once they're ambushed, they can't do anything else, which is fine. But, yeah, I think that's it for this turn. I do have another fighter I could fly somewhere too, I suppose. Let's go over here and see what we've got. BT-7. I guess that was the tank, not the T-70. BT-7. All right. Now we're done. Got some Soviet air flying around here. Two, two, 1, 2. Okay, let's see. Let's continue to move here. What can we do here? Not great. Now we can attack and do a little bit of damage, hopefully. And we wiped them out. So where do we have to get the tanks from? Right here. Okay, well, we're pretty close now. And this is infantry. Yes. And yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see. I got my tank here. Drive across terrain, get to the road. And our plan is send them this way. We have some. Oh, okay, that's their plane. Okay, take that. Little prestige bonus there. Let's see what else we got. Artillery. We do have... That's not going to do us any good. Can't reach this guy yet, so let's truck it over this way. There, Jaeger's okay, I guess. I think we already used these two scouts. Stop outside of that. You saw the little skull and crossbones there. Alright. Got planes. Fucker. They're in the hangar. This guy. Yep, I think we're done. Alright. Destroy the propaganda car. Where is that? Oh, I guess we don't know where that is. Alright, so we need to capture that. Oof. Alright, we need to hit this with some aircraft. Where's my dive bomber? Here's my bomber. Let's see if we can loosen these guys up a little bit. Not what I wanted. I wanted the other unit. Well, let's move him over here so he's out of the way. Yeah, that's not doing me a whole lot of good. Okay. Got a gun here. They can't quite reach there. Next turn. We have 5 turns left to capture the enemy tanks. Alright. Let's see, where are my fighters? There's one. Looking for these Russian bombers. There they are. Dive bomber. Okay. From here. Whittle them down. This guy. Attack this bomber. And let's start moving again. Let's see. I don't know. What are we going to do? It's a little difficult. All right, let's go this way. All right. That's not a winner. that is, but let's attack it anyway. Yep, total mystery. Move it there. Okay, now that one. I think we attacked with this one already. Let's move it this way. Uh-oh. I don't know what attacked us there. I missed something, apparently. There's our Jaegers. Need to get these guys moving. Regulars. Conscripts. There. That one's already used. Already used. Used. All right, done. Oh, is that the propaganda car? All right. We captured the tanks. That's my scout, so I don't want to attack that with that. Let's take our dive bomber. There's my T-26, I guess. All right, cool. That was not the propaganda car. I have no idea where that thing is. Works for me. Warehouse is there. Ebola is there. The propaganda car is here. Okay. Okay. Need that. Where are my big guns? Where are the Jaegers down there? They did that. Regulars. Okay. All right. I think I moved everybody. I think I did. Okay. Well, we can continue, but I think this is a good place to stop since we're over an hour in. So I'm going to stop here. We really didn't do it very well, but it is what it is. I'm not good at this game yet, so I'll get better as I continue to play. So my final thoughts here for this particular kind of first look playthrough type of thing here is I think it's a good game. It's enjoyable. There's a lot of nuance in there that I probably haven't grasped yet. I kind of didn't I guess I don't know. You have to be able to kind of adjust on the fly, and that's kind of what I struggled with a bit. Like I didn't know, I ended up splitting my forces and chasing multiple objectives all at once when it might have been probably a little bit better to kind of try and concentrate on sweeping in one direction first rather than kind of going all over the place willy-nilly. The getting the tanks thing was probably almost something that might not have been worth pursuing, only because it kind of took you in a direction that you probably didn't really need to go to when your main objectives were more to the south. So that's just and that's a good thing. Making the player make tough choices is definitely a sign of a good game. So that's going to do it. I do appreciate you checking this out. My name's Joe. This has been Hexed Encountered. Please consider liking, sharing, and/or subscribing. And I'll probably do another video on this game. I have a lot of things in my hopper right now, and I also have some travel, so maybe a little bit before I get anything else done. But I hope to. At least that's in the plan. So thank you for watching, and until next time, happy gaming.